little place there for where you can click to raise your hand as well. So if you do have a question, if you want to type it into the chat room, feel free to do that as well. Raise your hand and we'll, once again, this is new to everybody, so we're having a lot of fun with it as we continue on, and the last one I thought went pretty well. So just be a little patient with us, but we're going to get through this no problem. We will end around 5 to 10 minutes before the hour, and once again, if you do get kicked off, which has happened to us in some of the training sessions when we were setting up the spring assembly, just keep your login pretty handy and you can log right back on, and we'll all try to do the same thing. So our key outcomes today are going to be the new flexibility provided by Rotary Club International, things that we have learned through the Council on Legislation. We're going to identify identify ways to create positive member experience. We're going to be talking about membership a lot throughout this presentation, and also define what makes your club vibrant and describe how to improve the club vibrancy. So there's 3 essential elements that I want you to key in on: membership, foundation, and the brand of Rotary. Linking this together, TRF, brand, and membership. It's our strategy for the future. If you think about it, we're a service club organization, been called many things, but you can't do anything without members, and it starts with 2 and 3 and 4. So when a club gets together and we put our membership together, we are known as Rotary, our Rotary Club locally, Rotary International, and without members, we really have no brand, and without members, we really can't give back to our foundation. That's why membership is so important. So the strategy is to link all these together. The goals to increase membership with any organization is you have to attract members. So we're going to look at ways of attracting new members, how to retain the members, sustaining the vibrant club culture, and strengthening the club experience. If some of you came from effective club meetings just a little bit ago, strengthening that club experience is very integral of retention of a club and attracting new members. So all this works together. Having a vibrant club is so important. Most of you may be, in a sense, I need to step back just a little bit. Some of this presentation was, I'm a PETS trainer, so it was geared a little towards president-elects at PETS that we have every year in February, but I try to tailor it for everybody, because regardless of whether you're a president or in leadership on the board, or a new member or a tenured member, just enjoying the fellowship of Rotary, we all have a piece in making our club vibrant and growing our club. Everybody has a job here. So membership fact, there's been 1.2 million members in Rotary for quite a long time. It seems that about 100,000 join every year and 100,000 leave every year. What that tells us is we don't have a recruitment problem. I think that's pretty impressive that we can get 100,000 people to join Rotary. Don't you? I think it's impressive that 100,000 people found out that Rotary is finally not becoming the best kept secret. But every year we lose 100,000 people. So in a sense, I don't think we have a membership attracting problem as much as we have a retention problem. Barry Ratson, our RI president in 18 and 19, came up with reinventing Rotary. And we're going to talk a little bit about, like I said, the new Rotary flexibility, but promoting our public image and our brand. You have probably found Rotary some way or another, but for many years, Rotary was not tooting their own horn. They were not branding themselves out in the public. People just knew that this wheel. I just used to think it was, I wasn't sure what it was, a wheel, a cog, what it meant. I would see it in small towns as I drove in. You'd see the Rotary symbol, you'd see the lions, you'd see possibly the elks, and I just had no idea. Innovating club meetings by design, we're going to talk about that. And once again, creating Rotary membership flexibility, because times have changed. Case in point, we're doing the spring assembly through Zoom meeting and seeking new transformational practices. So let's take a look first at the flexibility, because this is really the future of Rotary. Clubs determine their own requirements. There's new membership types. Some of the membership types we've had for quite some time. Some clubs have taken advantage of them, some have not. Corporate memberships, family or associate memberships. I'll go back to the corporate membership real briefly, that our Spokane Valley Fire Department had a corporate membership, and the fire chief was really not being able to make all the meetings and didn't really understand what the membership was about. So the communication is a big part of that. And we told the chief, you can send somebody else in your administration to the meeting. The more we have in that membership, the more people to help us with the heavy lifting is great. So corporate memberships are good. Rotarackers can be Rotarians, double the fun. They can have their Rotaract club. They can be part of a Rotary club. Also, think outside the box. We have membership dues, of course, and if you want to attract younger members, maybe look within your club to see if you could reduce members for people under the age of 40. And our Centurion members, age plus their membership length, pay no dues. If they're struggling with dues because of membership, let's do some math. I'm a long ways away from that, I hope. The only requirement—
I'm not.
Well, Arthur, we know you're not. Arthur's been a Centurion for quite some time. The only requirement is we've got to meet twice per month. Structure your meetings, once again, to suit your needs. Not every club has a normal Rotary culture, but each club is individual within their own cultures and to suit your needs. I say this because some clubs are doing just fine. They're growing. It's the way their community works. Not every community has the same populace base, so every club's going to be a little bit different. So think in those means. Traditional Rotary meetings. Once again, if traditional weekly meetings are working, don't go changing for change's sake. Don't go changing just because the Council on Legislation has new rules or you have all this flexibility. I've seen clubs do that. If weekly meetings aren't working, try a meeting of a happy hour, maybe a meeting of a community service project. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Colleen and Deb. So at this point, I would just like to hear if a few people will raise their hand. We'll take a few. Are people doing some flexibility within their clubs right now, other than the Zoom flexibility? Have they done it in the past? And was it working really well? If anybody wanted to raise their hand. Anyone? No worries. I will say this. I know that before this happened and we went to Zoom meetings, some of our fastest growing clubs were the ones that had happy hours. They, part of that fellowship portion of it created a lot of fun in the Rotary meeting. And now with Lynn having happy hour on Friday, I just heard earlier today that they were going to stop it, and they all revolted and said, no, we want to continue to have our happy hour. They look forward to it every week. So why change? If Rotary is not attractive, we want to make it attractive to everybody. We want to identify and meet the members' needs. And I can see transparently how this PowerPoint is going to change with what's going on right now and how we're doing this online. We have different needs for our members right now, different than before COVID, where we had some membership needs that we needed to meet. Now we truly do have some membership needs we need to meet. Think of those folks that aren't technologically inclined to want to join a meeting. Some clubs have not started their Zoom meetings yet. And how do you officially run a Zoom meeting? We covered a little bit of that in effective club meetings earlier today. Adding vibrance and a fun, positive experience. You can do that whether you meet in person or meet online. We want to think outside the box to make these fun and vibrant. Also, increasing fellowship opportunities. Our fellowship opportunities seem to be online, but most places at this point are going to different phases of what you can do. If you continue with your distancing, it gives a new meaning to a fireside chat. Possibly go somewhere where you can have an actual fire and sit 6 feet apart and have your fellowship. And still invite new members. But we need to change because new members and retaining existing members, which I truly believe is one of the reasons why we lose 100,000 every year. Now, your club experience. Think about this for just internally. Why did you join Rotary? And then why do you stay in Rotary? And if some of you want to type that into the chat, I'd be interested in seeing that. Think about why'd you join Rotary? I can tell you for myself, I joined Rotary for networking. I'm in the sales profession and I thought this would be a great way to meet new people, but it's not why I stayed in Rotary. And I can ask this differently. What's the date you joined Rotary and what date did you become a Rotarian? Because there's a time within Rotary that we did join, but we didn't know a lot about the organization. And then there was a defining Rotarian moment that you had that I believe officially, unofficially, in your heart, made you a Rotarian. They did some research on this, as a matter of fact. A lot of folks, as you can see, had really they joined for the community, of course, the friendship, and even the one that the red line actually goes through, I'd like to highlight even further, was the reason I joined was almost 19% of the folks joined to network. But notice the stark decline of why they stayed in Rotary. It wasn't for the networking opportunities anymore. They became official Rotarians like I did, and look at close to 36 and almost and 38% stayed for having a positive impact on their community with their friends. So fellowship and giving back to your community is reason why people have a Rotary heart. I like to have folks do this, whether they're in leadership or not, because everybody has an opportunity to make their club become better. Is your membership truly active and engaged? I know times are different right now, but has your club started Zoom meetings? Are the Zoom meetings getting better as you join these meetings? And are you being, and is everybody else being engaged? Is the nature of your service the same? I'll ask that a little bit differently. The nature of our club is mentally and physically challenged children. What's the effectiveness of your leadership team? Are they really pushing forward to have your club be vibrant? And what's the public image in your community? Believe it or not, we can create more public image about Rotary now than ever before because of the internet. And do you support the Rotary Foundation? If we remember the links at the start of this presentation, we can't support the Rotary Foundation without membership, and we can't support the Rotary Foundation if nobody knows who we are. So as Barry Rassin said, all organizations at one point must reinvent themselves. If we look at vibrant against failed organizations, we can tell the ones that continue to reinvent themselves. Amazon, Apple, Disney Plus, Starbucks. Some of the failed organizations as times were changing, why don't, I always look at it this way. Blockbuster was leading in home movies. Somebody at Blockbuster didn't see what Netflix saw. So we reinvent ourselves. Doesn't mean we change everything if it's working, but if it's not working, we have flexibility amongst our clubs to talk to, if you're currently a leader on this Zoom meeting or if you're not, everybody has a responsibility in continuing to make their club vibrant. So simply more put, what if we ran Rotary like Disney, Apple, Starbucks, and Amazon? Our vibrant club model is really three major things in my opinion. And if your club hasn't already done a visioning session, you should look into it. Our district has resources that can help you do this for at no cost. But having a vision for your club being engaging and flexible are all the key elements of having a vibrant club. Conducting meaningful projects, try new and fun ideas. We're trying that today, right? Has a unique identity and reflects its members. And when you set your vision, craft a compelling vision. Things don't really move forward, not just in Rotary, but in life generally don't get pushed one step ahead of each other without having a vision or having goals. And the other thing is, and I like what John Bushnell said today, because that really hit home. If we had a vibrant club, you probably wouldn't hear, I was the secretary because I missed a meeting, or I'm the new president because, I drew the short straw. We would want to groom leaders and have such a vibrant club that people would want to actually take a leadership position in Rotary. And so think about the people in your club right now. If you're not having that engaging club experience, are they going to stick around? And what can you do to come alongside them? And I'm not saying every club, there's a lot of great clubs out there that grow their membership. But to have an effective club atmosphere, that has to be part of your vision as you continue to move forward. Also, just engagement is truly the key. Engagement, knowing your members, reaching out to members, developing relationships. We talked about this in the last meeting, so I'm going to bring up a lot of great ideas because we had an open forum. For people that have Zoom meetings right now and some people that are not engaging in those meetings, our club, and this is just an idea to throw out to you all right now, is we did wellness checks individually and called everybody that was not engaging. Some people can't engage in this time, and I don't know really how to fix that, but what I do know is we're a service club and organization, and what better way to support our members that may not be able to engage? You may be that one person, that one Rotarian for another Rotarian to go run groceries for them or help them with some yard work because they're really truly being affected by this, and who better than to come alongside them than their fellow Rotarian? Plus, that does in a way engage them to it, engages them that they are being well taken care of. So things are changing. Do meaningful projects need to end because of what's going on? Not at all. One of the real estate companies here in Spokane had done a food drive where you drive by and be able to drop off food. There's things that you can do through the internet right now, through technology, that you can continue to fundraise. May not be the best time to fundraise, but nobody said that you shouldn't try. And there are still some people that are really willing to serve, and they're really willing to give back. We have seen that time and time again, which is kind of nice. And also somebody had brought up, what an amazing time to recruit for younger members. Who is more keyed in on technology than them? So once again, reach out to your members, discover their passion, give them a voice, even if they can't attend. This would be a good time to do that. Let's look at the flexibility. And once again, if the clubs right now, we're being very flexible with Zoom meetings, look on your Zoom meeting as well, what's working, what isn't. And also look into the future. Look into the future on how you can have keynote speakers from New York join you via Zoom meeting. How fun's that? Or from anywhere in the world, quite frankly. You can revitalize your club right now by adopting new approaches in the same way. And explore the traditions. I mean, how cool would it be to have the president have their bell at home, and maybe some of you do it, but open your Zoom meeting and ring your bell. And if you have certain culture items, whether you do the inspirational moment, do it just like you would do traditionally on any other club meeting. Just do it at home on your computer. And when they start lifting the restrictions and we can start meeting again, it was stated that some people still may be at risk or not comfortable just yet. How cool would it be if you had the resources to have a computer and they could still join you via computer, and it's kind of a pseudo semi-live, semi-in-person meeting, and people still on a webcam that can engage in the meeting as well. All of this that you think outside the box can lend itself to more membership. It can lend itself definitely to the retention of membership. So we talk about this all the time, and whether you're on a Zoom meeting or not, creating a welcoming club culture and that fellowship. If we go back to the research, if that's one of the main reasons people stay in Rotary, then that should be one of our main focal points. Once again, I think that's why Lynn's happy hour on Fridays, if you haven't joined it, is so successful. Fellowship amongst all of us is a big part of why we do it. And we want to do good works in the community with our friends. And I think that just makes great sense. So in this different time of distancing, how do we create more membership? Well, we can't do it by ourselves, and nobody should have to do it on their own. And a strong committee is always good in Rotary. And so I know some clubs have limited members, but membership being so important, a strong membership director and help them build or be part of the membership committee in any way is still imperative today. We don't really know the fallout or the next steps. We know that it will be different, but hopefully if we focus on some of the traditional things that we've done in the past to grow our clubs, that they will be effective when we are all able to safely get together again. Plus, the Rotary International still has resources that can help you, things that we can electronically load and send out to folks, have phone conversation, have video conversations. We are still getting referrals through Rotary International of people that have an interest in Rotary and want to know what Rotary is all about. What a better way to contact them now and tell them what your club is doing. Thinking outside the box is really what I wanted to talk to you here today about. Disney has what they call the Imagineer. It's actually, they have how would you like to apply for the Imagineer job at Disney? What if we did the same thing, if we ran that, a creative club culture Imagineer? Build a task force right now to innovate, come up with new ideas, and be that change maker. Help guide your club. That we know times are different, so let's use our imagination on how we can create more members in this time. We've never been afraid of a challenge. We're Rotarians. We go out and do impossible things for our community and we make them possible. So I think this is a fun and unique experience, and create a whole committee of Imagineers. How are we going to move this? We're going to move this and Rotary forward. So once again, retention has to be our first priority, because not everybody can do the heavy lifting all by themselves. We want to do tons of good work in our community. We want to continue that to the best of what we can do. I know some things we can't do, but for whatever we can do, members allow us to do our work, because everybody gets to chip in. So if we create these Zoom meetings, and when we can meet again, be attractive, engaging, and relevant, that creates retention. If people get value out of what they're doing, they don't leave. Greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness, as it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline. So we're kind of coming to the end of really how to grow a vibrant club. And maybe I should have changed the title a little bit: how to grow a vibrant club in this different type of technology that we're using right now. And some of the things that have came to me as I was preparing this is, this can create more opportunity for us, as we always want to maybe lend to, boy, this is difficult. Let's think differently. This is different. This is different. But we still love each other. We still are Rotarians. We still want to remember that not only that date that we joined Rotary, but that date that we became a Rotarian. So I'll look to Colleen right now before I go over our key outcomes. And here's something that's very interesting. I don't know if you can hear in the background. Is there a loud noise? Good. Part of the flexibility is, I think one of my kids just turned on the shower, so I can hear it. I can hear it booming in my other ear because it's behind this wall. I did not take that in consideration. So I apologize if there's a murmur in the background. So anything on the chat room? Okay. Well, I have not met a microphone I didn't like or want to visit with anybody. So I think I can just extend this out to all of you, that thank you for joining us today on a Saturday. What that tells me is you're Rotarians at heart. You do have the 2 dates. You had the date you joined, and you had that one experience that made you a Rotarian, and that's why you're here today. So thank you, and thank you for your service. Our communities need us. And when our communities need us, that comes with responsibility. And what I'm trying to tell you here today is, we can't do this alone. We got to get out there and with a megaphone and our soapbox, and explain how great Rotary is to other people, and give them your Rotary story. That is usually one of the best and unique ways to have people say, yeah, I'm interested. I'd love to come to a meeting. Give them the login to your next Zoom meeting. Explain to them how Rotary works. And I think we can change what some people are, you're either hearing that this is going to actually devastate Rotary, or it's going to help Rotary. I'm in the other camp. I think it's going to help Rotary. I really do. So hopefully the key outcomes that you have learned here today is new flexibility provided by Rotary International. This means more than ever right now. We have to be very flexible in what's going on with the COVID-19 crisis. Identify ways to create a positive member experience on our Zoom meetings, and be thinking in the future of how these are going to be different when we can meet together. And really, with your own club, define what's making your current club vibrant. And is it vibrant? And if it's not, we are in a great position to make it vibrant. And describe how to improve your vibrancy to your club members. So once again, I just want to thank everybody for coming. We're here on a Saturday. We're enjoying our fellowship together. If you have another session after this, look at your next link in where Debbie's at. I do want to just make sure that we don't have any other questions before I end, or any other comments. Now would be a great time to, if you wanted to lend some of your experiences in, how your Zoom meetings are going. We have a little bit of extra time, feel free.
I just have, go ahead, Jean.
Okay, Arthur. So I'm the club secretary. We are not, of course, someone mentioned in the last meeting that we were in, attendance is down. How does Rotary International really rate a president, for the membership? Because it's not necessarily, well, it's all our fault if people aren't zooming in and we're not helping them to stay in. But anyway, I just am curious about that. Are we just going to be considered 100% this year? I'm joking, but.
You're talking about attendance reports.
Yeah, our percentages are down based on our membership because, for all the reasons that have been addressed already. But does the president get dinged for that, or what? Why do we even take attendance, in other words?
Once again, we're in new waters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody on this call that is from the district that has an answer to the, I guess would be, has the district even thought of that? I don't, you know what?
John, this is Deb. I can take a stab at that. We do still have attendance requirements on Rotary.org. We do still have the 1st of July and the 1st of January dues to pay. So it's a way to make sure we still have active members. So I haven't heard anything from the Council on Legislation that's going away, but that's a really great question and something we should talk about. The other part of that is just continuing to be connected with our fellow Rotarians so that we know whether they're there or not. So there's still a lot of Rotarians that have been in the clubs, like Arthur, 44 years of perfect attendance. They want to keep those records going, so we need to honor that as well.
And what's really neat about our club is we have one member, I think, who's been disabled for a while. He was past president, very engaging person, and now he comes on each day or each time we have a meeting. He now is re-engaged. So it's been really fun to see that and getting to see our old friend again. And he's really looking forward to, now that he's feeling better, being able to see us in person. So it's been very rewarding, to me, to see all the people who are making an effort to join us on Zoom.
We'll answer a quick question on here. Yes, I can definitely send out both decks to you, Deb, for people that want to have those for notes. And then also, Nancy, I will respond to, I have joined in on other meetings and it seems to be about 50-50. There have been some meetings that are really up on attendance. This has been where, I thought this was interesting, where it's been we've seen some, I call them MIA Rotarians, and all of a sudden they're showing up to Zoom meetings. And that has been my heart's full when I see them. Haven't seen them in a while. Some meetings are technically challenged for folks, but for some reason in our meeting, we have had less younger folks, and I like to call the tenured members tenured, are really joining in and enjoying the technology, and everybody's helping everybody on these Zoom meetings. When we get a blank screen, we'll say, "Hey, Ron, click on the button to your left," and and he goes, "Oh, there I am," so we're learning this stuff over time. And I think, when you're learning something new, it's pretty exciting. But oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, the other thing that's kind of neat is that for some of our, you call them tenured people, it's their wives that are helping them get on line. And so now the wives and the husbands, they're joining Rotary together. And so they can feel more connected that way, the whole family.
Absolutely. And I think go ahead, Mark.
We've been able to keep some of our snowbirds. We have members that go down to Arizona, and they're joining us on meetings. And at least one of them, Holly, is stuck in Arizona. She can't leave, and they're still participating in meetings, and that's great.
Yeah, I think if we continue to help our clubs, whether you're in leadership or not, and once again, just thank you for being at our spring assembly. I think this is, I think we're all wonderful leaders, even if you don't hold a leadership position, because you're here. And it's just not up to the president to make and grow a vibrant club. I can't say that enough. We all have to come alongside each other, especially now, and figure out ways that we can continue to invite members. And once again, I just want to reiterate, when we were in Effective Club meetings, we had some great ideas being shared back and forth, that we can create amazing speakers this way. This was something that in my industry I was doing before COVID-19, so it's really not new to me. And then I thought, why can't we just run a meeting or an assembly via Zoom or the internet? And thanks for Deb to take on this. This is awesome. This is amazing. Bob and Lynn and Ed and I were having breakfast, and I just brought up the fact that this can be done. Why are we, sometimes people talk about the negative portions of what's going on. I like to find the positive. Why are we talking about canceling a spring assembly if we could try it? May not be perfect. We're going to learn a lot after this afternoon, aren't we, Deb? And it's a great way for us to continue our training. Keeping in mind, whenever I do pets in Seattle, I tell people, I don't know any other organization that has this many speakers, that has this much free training, that has this much free resource. Even if it's just not for your community, you learn stuff personally and individually that helps you not only in Rotary, but in your life. And that's what makes Rotary so amazing. And some of the speakers and trainings that I've received through Rotary is priceless. And we get that because we're Rotarians and we help each other out. So we want to continue to grow. We want to continue to be vibrant. We want to continue to have people join Rotary and not leave, or just be transparent, and part of that is the experience that we provide for our Rotarians when we meet with them, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's in person, or whether it's that one-on-one engagement, which we all just need to be doing. And I think the one thing that I got out of Steve Linkenbrink's video, and if you haven't seen it, that he said that always sticks in my mind, and once again, I aggressively borrow everybody's great ideas, is there's 3 8-hour sections of your day, and you generally sleep for 8. I know that's not all of us. You generally work for 8. What are you doing with the other 8 hours of your day? And it puts it in perspective. And those 8 hours, we can take a few of those and be great Rotarians for our community. And I think other people need to hear that.
There's an old song, and I can't remember the name, but you were working and sleeping And I think the next one was that leaves 8 hours for fun.
Yeah.
And I consider Rotary fun.
And I'm just very blessed that Arthur didn't try to sing it.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Can I share something that I've learned recently that I think will be a great idea for presentations at either district level or local level of Rotary meetings? I've discovered recently, because I walk my dog in the morning and in the evening, so we get our 3 hours in, I have downloaded the TED Talks app. And if you want to hear some great speakers on leadership, and most of the talks are 11 to 20 minutes. And we could have those as a presentation at any of our meetings, and they are fabulous. I am a hooked TED Talk person. And just try it. It's real easy. It's simple. It's free. And Bill Gates gave one that was little over an hour, but it was fabulous. And I'm just suggesting that as another way to get interesting meetings. You can't have a question and answer period because you're watching a video, but you'll walk away just smiling and full of new ideas.
Well, and I hope this is even I think that's a great resource. Another resource is RI. We have lots of videos for our, especially, well, I'm not going to say new members because I think everybody needs refresher on Rotary. But we have so many resources, videos that are like a TED Talk, our training that are at our fingertips that we could share with our presidents, with our club people, with our programs director. What our club has done in the past is we have had amazing programs so far. I was really proud of my club, but every once in a while, life is life and a speaker has to cancel at the last minute. And we've popped up some of these videos and it was great. Or at the very end, we've had a classification talk, and not just with the new folks, classification talks with our tenured members, because they have such unique stories to tell. Some of our best programs are people that are in our own clubs. So. Okay. Anybody else want to chat? We're just into fellowship now, so you can unmute everybody if you want. Anybody have anything good for the order, as we say at our meeting? Did you guys have fun in spring assembly this year?
Yes.
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 Yes, I would just like to thank you for the great presentation. There's lots of things I'm going to take back to the club, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate it.
Yes, I learned a lot today, and I'm going to send my notes to the president and to Linda Bauer. She and Jim are great implementers.
Well, thank you, everybody. I mean this from the heart. I just don't know. I haven't been around forever, but I've been around long enough to have been involved in other organizations. And I just have not found such a caring, wonderful group of folks like Rotarians that at any given time, I always tell people it's very interesting. If you have your Rotary pin on and you're in another community, I always get approached from another Rotarian, and it's this bond and this, I don't know, I get a little choked up when I talk about it. It's almost like if I see another Rotarian in another city, I'm over at their house for dinner that night, and I have no qualms about the trust and the engagement. and I'm passionate about it from a standpoint of I really think that membership is that important, because there's other folks that just don't know who or what we are about. And when they find out, like I did 20 years ago, we're doing, I thank my sponsor all the time for introducing me to Rotary. It becomes a lifestyle. So you're gonna, some of you that are presidents, who's presidents in the room? Raise your hand. I can see you now. Anybody? Because I know they're gonna have the financial meeting, right, Deb, after this?
Oh, that's president-elect.
And if you're not, can we just hang out here and visit for a while, or do we gotta go? Or
So President-elects have an 11 o'clock meeting, and the rest of us that are not president-elects, if you want to know about president-elect budgets, I just can't imagine, but if you do, I can. Otherwise, this was our first foray into online training, so we kept it short and simple to see what kind of response we got. And I'm happy to say that we had 133 people register and 108 in each of these two classes, 105 for John Bushnell's presentation. So I just want to thank you very, very much for taking a chance and trying this. I think it went really well.
it went amazing. Thank you, Debbie.
Good job.
Debbie.
Yeah, it went great.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, guys. Okay, well, what I see
John?
here, oh, go ahead.
No, John's just going to hang around for a while, like if he was at another city, and hoping that one of you will invite him for dinner.
Buy him a drink.
Never
Yeah.
met a free, never met a free drink I didn't like. Didn't care what it was.
Fun.
Didn't care. So what I do see on the screen here, though, is for those of you who didn't raise your hands, I see lots of potential presidents here that could join us for pets next year.
Been there, done that.
That's-
I'll be there.
All right, guys. I love
Bye,
you all.
everybody.
Thank you for being Rotarians. Enjoy if you're